A very good morning to all the students of class 12th political science. Students, today before I start my lecture for a particular topic which we are going to start today, I would like to show you the revised syllabus for the academic year 2020 and 21 which has been revised, and I have already sent you the PDF regarding the revised syllabus of political science to your class WhatsApp group. But again, I am just discussing here what are the changes and what are the topics which have been completely taken off and which chapters have been merged or which topics have been merged to the other chapter. So I will just talk about the part 1, contemporary world politics, as we are currently dealing with this particular book. About the part B, that is politics in India since independence, I will take the details of that book later on when we start that particular book. But now, as we had already told you, the syllabus for your this coming exam unit, the first 2 chapters, okay, but the thing is here, there has been many topics have been removed or cut off from these particular chapters, like the Cold War era. So you have to check your PDFs which I have sent you and the deleted portion. So you have to do the only topics which are there in the revised syllabus now, and in the some topics have been removed in the end of bipolarity. You have to do these 2 chapters for your unit test. But a part of this chapter has been removed from the syllabus, but a section of this US hegemony in world politics has been added to this second chapter, that is end of bipolarity. So for the unit test, I think you will have to read all these 3 chapters, because some topics of US hegemony in the world politics have been added to the second unit. That's why I've written here a part of this chapter gets added with unit 2. So you have to read all these 3 chapters carefully and just check it that what all topics are there now, revised topics. Okay. And then you can see these 2 topics have been completely deleted. Security in the contemporary world. We were currently doing this particular topic, but now I'm not taking any videos for this security in the contemporary world. This is not in your syllabus for this particular academic session. And this chapter number 8 is also being removed or cut off from your syllabus completely, environment and natural resources. So the chapter left in this particular book is globalization, which we are going to start today about globalization. But also you have to see the subtopics properly, which or subtopics you have to do from your NCERT books. That PDF in detail I have sent you to your WhatsApp group. Okay. So today's topic is chapter number 9 of your book. This is the last chapter of your book, part 1, that is contemporary world politics, and the chapter name is globalization, and this is the first part of this particular chapter, globalization. So first of all, we will start with the meaning of this particular word. What do we understand by the word globalization? So let's read the definition. Globalization is a process of integration of the economy of a country with the economics of other countries or the economies of other countries. It involves free flow of trade, capital, ideas and culture. Globalization is a multidimensional concept. It has political, economic and cultural consequences. Globalization is a process of integration. Integration, we can say joining or merging of economy of a particular country with the other countries around the world, making our economy open in nature. It involves, if we say we are making our economy open, or we are merging our economy with other world countries, or we are integrating the whole economy of a particular country with the other countries around the world, it involves free flow of trade. So we will have a free flow of trade, capital, ideas and culture. So you have to always remember these 4 terms: trade, capital, ideas and culture. Whenever anyone talks about the globalization, you have to first of all remember that it's all about flow of ideas, trade, capital or culture. Flow means moving from one place to another. What all things can move from one place to another? Trade, capital, ideas of a particular place and culture also. We'll study this in detail now in this particular chapter. Globalization is a multi-dimensional concept. If we say globalization, we cannot say it's all about economy, or it's only about politics, or it's only about trade, or only about ideas. It is multi-dimensional. So it is a very broad term, and we have to do it in detail. So we can understand each and every concept related to globalization. It is very important for us to understand in the present current scenario around the world. So it has some important dimensions as political globalization, economic globalization, and cultural consequences or globalization. So we shall be taking all these three also in this particular chapter. So but currently, as I told you, read the NCERT books. There are many examples, like this is just globalization, but to make you understand the meaning of globalization, they always give you certain examples and concepts. So we must read the NCERT books to in case to have a complete understanding of a particular topic or chapter. So I'm studying it from your NCERT book, this particular chapter, and later on I will give you the short notes which I have written for you. But I will give you these. I will just read these points as I will already explain you this in this particular book just now in this particular video. After that, I will give you these notes. So as I told you that globalization is all about the free flow of trade, capitals, ideas and culture. So to understand this particular concept of globalization properly, we are going to understand this particular topic, and the first topic of your chapter is this, the concept of globalization. Under this, first of all, we will read three examples, 1, 2 and 3rd. Okay, so I am starting with the first concept or the first example which they are giving. Okay, see this situation. Janardhan works in a call center. He leaves late in the evening for work. Becomes John when he enters his office. So they are saying there is a particular person, his name is Janardhan. He works in a call center. He leaves his home late in the evening and works there. That is, he works for the night shift. Becomes John when he enters his office. His name is John. When he enters his office, acquires a new accent and speaks a different language. And when he reaches his office, he has a completely different personality. He speaks different language in different accent. Then as compared to his home, what he is at home, he is completely different when he is in his office. But the office's working hours are late after evening. So to communicate with his clients who are living thousands of miles away. As you know, when we are working in a call center, international BPOs, we have to communicate with our clients who are living thousands of miles away in the foreign countries. He works all night. So he works all night, which is actually daytime for his overseas customers. As we know, there is a time difference. When it's night here, in US it's morning. So he's talking to his clients at night here, but it's morning there. Janardhan is rendering a service to somebody who is, in all probability, he is never likely to meet physically. So he is working and talking to person or providing services to such people who in future are not going to meet him physically. This is his daily routine. His holidays also do not correspond to the Indian calendar. So this is his regular work, and the holidays which are there in India, they don't follow the calendar of India. The holidays will be getting to John or Janardhan only if there is a holiday in US. Okay. So this is the first situation given in your book. So remember this particular example we had about this person, Janardhan. Another example is, as you can see here, this is Ramdhari has gone to shopping to buy a birthday gift for his 9-year-old daughter. So this is a man. He has gone to buy a birthday gift for her daughter. She is 9 years old. He has promised her to buy a bicycle. So he must have promised her daughter that he is going to gift her a bicycle on her birthday. So in the market he searched for something he finds affordable. So he finds something which is affordable, a cycle which is affordable as well as reasonable in quality and also good in quality wise. He finally does buy a cycle. So finally he buys a cycle which is actually manufactured in China. So that cycle is manufactured in China, but it is being marketed in India. But that's a cycle which is manufactured in China, but people are able to buy those products in India. That is, the products of China are available in the Indian market as well. It meets his requirement. He buys that bicycle of China because that bicycle meets his requirements, as it is affordable and quality is also good. And Ramdhari decides to go ahead with his purchase. So he purchases that bicycle. Last year, but on the last birthday of her daughter, when she became 8-year-old, it means Ramdhari on his daughter's insistence had bought her a Barbie doll. Previously on her birthday, she gifted her daughter a Barbie doll, but that Barbie doll was originally manufactured in US. So it means in Indian market, the manufactured goods of US were also available. So First situation I have told you about Janardhan, who is working in a call center. Second instance I have told you about Ramdhari, a man who is gifting a birthday cycle or a birthday gift to her daughter as she is 9 years old now. And the third situation given to you here is, so you have to remember all the situation. This we will include further in this chapter. Sarika is a first generation learner who has done remarkably well throughout her school and college life by working very hard. So Sarika is one, in her family no one has been too good with the studies or never studied for the higher classes or never tried to make career in a particular field of education. But here Sarika is the first person in her generation or in her family who is working very hard with her studies, as she has done very good with the schooling and college life. So Sarika now has an opportunity to take on a job after schooling, good schooling and good education, getting good marks in colleges also. Now she gets an opportunity for a job and begin an independent career. Now she has an independent career which the women of her family had never dreamt of earlier. No female in her family or in her generation ever have dreamt of doing such job or making an independent career. While some of our relatives are opposed, she finally decides to go ahead because of her new opportunities. So now she decides that she has to move ahead and grab all the new opportunities she is getting and have been made available to her generations. Now in her generation those opportunities are available. Previously there were less opportunities, so the females of her family never got such opportunities, but she is having opportunity and she wants to move ahead with these chance which she has got. So there is a conclusion now. All of these three situations which you have read about Janardhan, about Ramdhari and about Sarika. So we are concluding here. All three examples illustrate and aspects each of what we call globalization. So all these three situations are related to globalization. How? In the first case instance, Janardhan was participating in the globalization of services. Okay, now India, previously such services or such jobs were not available, but because of the globalization, the BPOs have been opened in India and they are giving services and employment to many youths in India. So this is the impact of globalization in terms of service. Ramdhari's birthday purchase tell us something about the move of the commodities. So we can see here, because of the trade and transfer of commodities or flow of commodities from one country to another country's market is the example of the commodity or a bicycle which Ramdhari bought for her daughter from one part of the world to another. And the third is, here Sarika is faced with a conflict of values partly originating from a new opportunity. So these values that now females are also having the opportunity to have their independent career in the field of education or going through the different colleges and schools and opting different professions, that is also something new to our society. That is why it's written conflict of values partly originating from new opportunities that earlier were not available. Earlier it was not available in the Indian society for women in her family or in any family in India, but today it is a part of reality that has gained wider acceptability. But now it is accepted and all the women are also getting the equal opportunities as men. This is all three are, so we can say, are the examples of globalization in our society. All are different from one another in some or the other way. I hope you have understood these three situations which were given to you in relation to, they have tried to explain to you what do we understand by globalization and how the new changes are coming to our society and how the opportunities we are grabbing are one or the, we can say, impact of the globalization. Now here, if we look for example of use of the term globalization in real life, if we see what do we understand by globalization in our real life, we will realize that it is used in various contexts. Let us look at some of the examples different from ones that we have. So now we will read some examples which are different from the situations we read earlier in this particular topic. So the first one is here. Some farmers committed suicide because their crops failed. They had brought very expensive seeds supplied to by a multinational company. So they are saying some of the farmers commit suicide because their crops has failed for a particular year or a season, but those seeds the farmers has bought from whom, and they were expensive, very expensive seeds, and they were supplied by multinational companies. Okay, these are the countries which are set up by the foreign countries in countries like India to the developing countries. So remember the cases which I'm reading. Again, we'll conclude these examples in the further paragraph. An Indian company bought a major rival company based in Europe despite protest by some of the current owners. They are saying an Indian company. There is an Indian company who bought a major rival company. They brought one major rival company, and that major company is based in Europe. It is situated in Europe despite protest by some of the current owners. There were some current owners who were protesting against India's purchasing of these countries, but still they bought it. Many retail shopkeepers fear that they would lose their livelihood if some major international companies open retail chains in our country. Of course, if suppose in India, if are some international companies which are coming in India and they are trying to make some products or manufacturing goods of daily needs, so the shopkeepers here would be worried and they will fear that they will be unemployed and they will have no source of income for their livelihood. Next is a film producer in Mumbai was accused of lifting the story of his film from another film made in Hollywood. Like we see in many movies which are the remake of the movies which are from Hollywood or South movies or from other movies. So this is a case for the filmmakers also. Then it's written a militant group issued a statement that threatening college girls who wear Western clothes. Here's a militant group who are threatening the college girls if they wear or they follow the dressing pattern of the Western world, they will be threatened, like they will be killed or whatever. So these are some of the examples which we have read, and now understanding the meaning of these examples show us that globalization need not always be positive. So in the previous examples we read about Janardhan, he was working in a call center, and Ramdhari purchasing products from the market which were from the other countries, then Sarika getting good opportunities to work. These were the positive impact of globalization on our society. But the examples now we have read about the farmer, about the Indian companies buying rival companies based in Europe, then about the retail shopkeepers of India, okay, then about the filmmakers of Mumbai, about militant groups. So these are examples of globalization, but they are not positive in sense, we can say. These examples show us that globalization need not always be positive. It can have negative consequences of the for the people indeed. So there are many activities or many, we can say, ideas which are flowing into our country can be negative in sense. There are many people who believe that globalization has more negative consequences than positive. Many people think that because of globalization, as you must know the definition of globalization, it is a free flow of trade, capital, ideas and culture from one place to another around the world. So we are talking or taking example instance for India. So here many people think that globalization has more negative impact on the society than its positive impacts. These examples also show us that globalization needs to be only about the economic issues. So these examples which you have read, they are also showing that globalization is all about the economic issues, but this is not the reality. As we said, it is a free flow of trade, capital, ideas and culture. Nor is the direction of influence always from the rich to the poor countries. Since much of the usage tends to be imprecise, it becomes important to clarify that what we mean by globalization. So now after reading all these examples, and we think that it is having some positive impact also, but some people think there are more number of negative impact on the countries because of this globalization, as we read these examples, positive examples also and negative examples also. So here we are trying to conclude what do we exactly mean by the term globalization, and you must see this properly and write the definition also, as I have already written in the notes, but read this properly. Globalization as a concept of fundamentally ideas of flow is we can say globalization is all about the fundamental deals with flows. It's already related to the flows. What type of flows? These flows could be of various kinds. Ideas moving from one part of the world to another. An idea which is followed in a particular country, it is then it flows and is copied to the other part of the country. Capital shunted between two or more places, capital sharing of the capital. Commodities being traded across borders, as we read in the example, bicycle of China and Barbie doll of US. So sharing of commodities, or that is with the trade. And people moving in search of better livelihood. People also move from one country to another in search of better livelihood, better job opportunities to different parts of the world. The crucial element in the worldwide internet interconnectionness that is created. So crucial point is here, this globalization creates worldwide interconnectionness. It is maintaining a interconnection between the different countries of the around the world, that is created and sustained as a consequence of these constant flows. So this is all because of the constant flows of, we can say, trade, capital, ideas and culture, which is interconnecting the whole world with one another. Maybe as it's a coin, as the coin has two sides, so globalization as a coin has a positive side also and negative impact also on our societies. Here are some important characteristics about globalization. That what do we mean by globalization? You have already understood, it's all related to the flows of trade, capital, ideas and culture. But we will also say here, globalization is a multi-dimensional concept. It is multi-dimensional concept. It has political, economic and cultural manifestations. It is not, as we told, globalization is not only about the economy flowing from one country to another. It's also about influence, political influence, or the political influence of from one country to another. Economically, so we will read, and it has also cultural impact of one part of the country to the other part of the other countries in the world. What do we mean by here the manifestations? Manifestation means here the action or fact of showing something. So through the political globalization, economic globalization and cultural globalization, what are the action and facts which we can see and which impact we can see because of these globalization or flow of political, economic and cultural manifestations? We are going to read here. Globalization is a multidimensional concept. It has political, economic and cultural manifestations, and these must be adequately distinguished. So they should be distinguished from one another, separated. This cannot be taken up in a narrow meaning. It has a very broad meaning, so we have to understand it differently, and we have to differentiate political globalization, economic globalization and cultural globalization from one another. It is wrong to assume that globalization has purely economic dimension. So it's written here. It will be always wrong if we say that globalization is only about economic. No. Just as it would always be mistaken to assume that it is purely culture, and we cannot say that it is purely copying of a culture from one part of a country world to the other. The impact of globalization is vastly uneven. So we can say the impact of globalization is vastly uneven. It affects some societies more than the other and some parts of the societies more than the other. As you know, in a society you wear jeans, you eat the food like pizzas, burgers. These all are the habits or the lifestyle of the Western people from the US, which are the developed countries. But the countries like India, which are the developing countries, we have been starting to follow the trends and the lifestyle of the people living in the Western world. So this is also the impact of the globalization on our daily lifestyle. So that is why we cannot say that it is all about economics, or we cannot say that it is purely about cultural phenomena. The impact of globalization is vastly uneven. So we can say in some or the other country the impact of globalization can be more, and in the same impact in the other part of the world it can be not so much impressive. It's and it is important to avoid drawing general conclusion about the impact of globalization without paying sufficient attention to the specific context. So we cannot draw a general conclusion about the globalization, as it is a very broad term. We need to understand it properly before giving it a specific context. So the next topic is now causes of globalization. What are the causes of globalization? What accounts for globalization? If globalization is about the flows of ideas, capital, commodities and people, it is perhaps logical to ask if there is anything novel about this phenomena. Taking it from here, globalization is globalization in terms of these four flows. Which four flows? Ideas, capital, commodities and people. If globalization in terms of these four flows has taken place through much of the human history, However, those who argue that there is something distinct about contemporary globalization point out that it is the scale and the speed of these flows that account for the uniqueness of the globalization in the contemporary area. They are saying this is not an old concept. Globalization is not an old concept. It's a very ancient. It has been seen in the history from the 16th century around the world. As we have read in history, you must have read about the trade, about the movement of people from one place to another, and also about ideas moving from one part of the world to the other part. But the difference is, if we compare it, however, those who argue that there is something distinct about the contemporary, it's written from here, yes, human history. Globalization in terms of those four flows has taken place through much of the human history. If we see the history of globalization, it's a very old concept. However, what are the changes if we talk about the contemporary globalization? I told you the meaning of contemporary: time period, or the world politics or the world activities which have been approaching after the Cold War, that is after 1991. So this concept of contemporary globalization has increased after the Cold War. However, those who argue that there is something distinct about the contemporary globalization point out that it is a scale. So what is the difference between the human history when this concept started and today's contemporary globalization? The difference is scale and the speed of this flow. The speed with which these concepts have been flowing from one part of the country to the other part of the world is the only difference, because there is a fast improvement in the different inventions and technology. Uniqueness of the globalization in the contemporary era. So now here, globalization has a strong historical base. If we talk about globalization, it has a very strong historical basis, and it is important to view contemporary flows against this backdrop. So when we have to study this modern contemporary globalization, we also have to include the historical base of the globalization. So as I told you, why globalization is not caused by any single factor. There is no single factor because of which globalization concept has come up in this particular contemporary world, and it is growing so fast. This is, we can say, technology remains a critical element. Although there is no single factor responsible for globalization, but technology plays a very important role in globalization. There is no doubt that the invention of the telegraph, telephone and the microchips is more recent times have revolutionized the communications between different parts of the world. They are saying since the invention of telegraph, telephone, microchip, because of these recent we can say discoveries of communication, there has been the increase in the flow of the globalization around the world, as their communication plays the most important role. And in the field of communication, there has been inventions of telephone and microchips in the recent times. When printing initially came into being, it laid the basis for the creation of nationalism. When there was an invention of printing press, it played a very important role in the nationalism when there were the freedom struggles during 1940s and 50s. So also today we should accept that technology will affect the way we think of our personal but also of collective lives. So we think now technology will also have a very important role to play in a personal life as well as a collective life of a whole community and society or a whole country. It is going to make so many changes coming up in the future world. We'll finish this topic today here only on causes of globalization. I hope you have understood the meaning of globalization and the various topics which we have taken, like the concepts of the globalization. And before I stop the video and finish the video, I would like to give you the notes which you can note down. I'm not going to repeat them and tell you in detail. I will just read them for you. This definition I have already read for you. Again, I'm reading. Globalization is a process of integration, coming together of the economy of a country with the economies of the other countries. It involves free flow of trade, capital, ideas and culture. Globalization is a multi-dimensional concept. As I told you, it is multi-dimensional because it doesn't talk only about economics. It also tells about the political influence, economic influence and cultural influence of globalization. So what are the positive impact of globalization? If we are talking about the society, any society around the world or any country, what are the positive impact? Because as I told you, if there is a coin has two sides. So this particular topic, globalization, it has two sides. One is positive, also it is some part is negative. New jobs are created. So what are the positive impacts of globalization? We can say, if there will be globalization in a country like India also, there will be new jobs are created in industries by MNCs, because of globalization, multinational companies come to the developing countries or the underdeveloped countries or the least developed countries, and they set up their companies or the industries there, because of which the local people get the employment opportunities, and all the infrastructure which is needed for MNCs, all the opportunities are getting to the local inhabitants of that particular place or country. So it gives opportunities for the new jobs. Increase in the volume of trade in goods and service. So because of this globalization, as I told you, it is a free flow of trade and people, capital, ideas. So because of this, when we open our economy and we follow the concept of globalization, in that case there will always be increase in the trade of goods and services, because of which the economy of a country will increase and there will be development all around. So rapid improvement in technology. Yes, if we'll follow the globalization, it means we'll follow the technologies which are coming from the outside world, and we will try to improve the industrial base of our country, or the common life of a people. If, for example, we talk about the phones, as we say, in the recent 5 or 10 years only, you must have seen the phones have come, and internet which you are using, 2G, 3G, 4G, and in same with the vehicles also, mobile phones and the different electrical appliances which you are using at home. So we can see there is so much comfort coming to our life, even in the developing countries, just because of transfer of technologies from one place to another. So there is improvement in technology, and because of this technology there is a lot more production in the industrial or agricultural field also, we can say. To improve the agriculture production, we are also using a lot of technologies which we are importing from outside, the machines which we are importing from other countries. So this is also one of the examples of the globalization. We are sharing capitals, ideas, technology, all that. So these are the positive impacts. Again, I'm explaining it, but negative impacts are also there. Exploitation of natural resources and labor forces. When there will be MNCs, they will use all the natural resources of a particular country, and also they will look for the cheap labor. So there is forced labor also. Globalization leads to cultural pollution. Why it's written cultural pollution? Because as I told you, in India now we are following the dress code of the Western world. The festivals which they celebrate, we are also celebrating here. So there is a mixture of the culture, the original culture of India or any country get mixed up with the outside world. So we call it cultural pollution, because the original culture, the heritage of a place somehow fades away. And the third is, it promotes the concentration of the wealth in fewer hands, and market policy is governed purely by market force, that is income inequalities. So there is a monopoly of few people. If we talk about the market, if we talk about the MNCs and the functioning of the private industries, and market policies, the market policies are not according to the government, they are governed by pure while the market forces decide what will be the market policies, and that is why there are a lot of income inequalities between people. Now there are, as I read you the last topic, causes of globalization. As told you, globalization is not a new term. It has a historical base. Globalization has a strong base. It is important to view contemporary flow against the backdrop. So in a way to understand the globalization, we also have to see its backdrop, as it started in the 16th century. Technological factor is also important for the globalization, because I told you, although one factor is not important or responsible for the globalization, so it's written, there is no doubt that the invention of telegraph, telephone and microchip recent time has revolutionized communication in different parts of the world. As I told you about technology. Technology plays a very important role in the globalization. Okay, thank you for this particular topic, and I shall be taking the next part in the next video. Thank you.